2023 is already perhaps one of the most interesting years in recent history for the MMORPG, and today is no exception. We've got news about the Riot MMO, state of the game, if you will, for this upcoming game from Riot, based off the world League of Legends, and upheld by Greg Street, Ghostcrawler Online of Blizzard fame, WoW fame, and for the longest time, a lot of people have looked to his insights to garner any little bit of information that they can about this mystery MMORPG. And I think it's in that mystery. I said this in a recent video this year already, talking about how Riot's MMO is already a masterpiece, because when I talk to people, when I listen to other content creators, every word, everything being stated about this game is that it's the perfect MMO. And the reasons into being is because in our minds, we can easily craft that. And we see that Ashes of Creation is currently up against kind of the wave of expectations and reality, already clashing. And Riot's MMO is ethereal. We get hints and gleams from what has been said, but nothing has been hard confirmed. And now today we actually have a little bit of news. So Greg Street, aka Ghostcrawler, he tweeted this out. We're going to go through his entire Twitter thread and we're going to discuss it. I'm going to give you a developer's perspective. That's because I'm a software engineer. That's what I do for a living. And I think I can help provide some context to what we're talking about. And this is a real life story. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Greg opens up, says, "Hey Internet, thanks for all the support over the past few months while I was AFK. I'm back now with some big news to share. I've decided to step down from my role at Riot Games." He continues, he says, "A combo of personal and professional considerations led me down this path. We experienced some devastating personal losses last year, and I want to be closer to my surviving family. But while I was on break, I got to think a lot about my career. Grief has a way of bringing into focus what matters the most to you. Still don't recommend it overall, though. And after 9 years at Riot, I feel like it's time for something new. I said from the beginning that building the League of Legends MMO worthy of all of you was going to be a long journey. The most important job I could do as part of the team was to build an amazing team. And while I'll stay humble overall, I will brag about this team all day. The MMO is in good hands, and it's the right time to hand over the reins, but for the next phase. I plan to stay in game development, and I have had a number of exciting opportunities present to me already. And I will be with you all playing Riot's MMO when it comes out. Hugs, GC." And so this is where it's interesting, because obviously, like, when he talks about grief and loss, like, my heart goes out to the guy. I think that should be the hopeful response that everybody has, because this world is tough. Life is difficult. We don't get through it unscathed. And it has a tendency to kind of remind us about that, obviously at the most, inconvenient of times. But beyond that itself, here's some key indicators, some things that are really interesting I think you should know. When he talks about being there for 9 years, 9 years. Game development, especially MMOs, take a very long time. It's one of the reasons why they're perhaps the most difficult game to make, because 9 years, that's the outlier. That's the exception. Yes, there are people who have long careers with single companies, but this isn't the 1940s or 50s anymore. The majority of people stay at a job 3, maybe 4 years. And that's not considered a bad thing. In fact, I actually, recently last year, got a new job, and the average career length within the company I'm at is actually at 7, which is 2 to 3 years above industry standard for developers. This is great. This is really good things for us all to be excited about, because it allows you to build that expertise and knowledge. And 9 years, that's a lot of knowledge. That's a lot of knowledge leading. But the other thing he points out, and this is something that will be interesting as we study Square Enix, as we study other systems, if everything relied on just him, then he really didn't do anything. And that's not me saying that he didn't do anything. I'm just saying that you cannot have a successful operation if it always just comes down to one guy, especially in development. We're talking hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars spent, thousands and thousands of man hours, a ton of work that goes into these things, and you want to have like a structure, you want to have a vision, but you need to have leadership. And you see when games, we can bring up Anthem, bring that back into play. 7 years of development hell, right? And people will talk about there's like no leadership. There was nobody really steering the ship. When they had leadership handover, it was chaos. And you can't build games in chaos. Games require in the most unique and interesting way, because as a game is being a set of rules, but the development of them, you have to have an insane amount of discipline, control, and at the same time chaos. It is almost like the fact to me, to kind of summarize my view, if you've never seen a video from me before, is that I believe video games are a miracle of our time. The fact that they can get funding, the fact that people will spend money on them, and the fact that you can get hundreds of people working on a project for multiple years, and that they come out, and that in and of itself is truly phenomenal. If people saw the world of it, I wish I could put every entitled gamer out there on the internet through the ringer, in the 3 years in the muck, hoping that your game obviously doesn't get shut down, and just to kind of experience what is possible, what isn't possible, understanding how it all comes together. But that's obviously not like anything that would ever happen. It's just something that I think if I had a superpower, that would be something I would wish upon the world, just for the sake of the discussion to be had at that point, to have those people with their viewpoints humbled in a way, to have that deeper understanding of it. Anyway, so we have this happening with Greg. Obviously, I think if he is correct in his team, his success is building that team. I don't have any concerns actually with the Riot MMO. I mean, the Riot MMO still is absolutely etheric. There's nothing to touch. There's nothing, no service that has to be up tomorrow. There's none of that yet. That's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole other thing, because no matter how much people put hope into the next big MMO, it's not even about the day it comes out. It's about the next year and the next year and the next year and then the next year, and so on and so forth, because that's the nature of what the competition and what they're stepping into from just a pure time economy is left standing. So anyway, I think Riot's MMO hopefully is in good hands. I wish Greg all the best, and speculation would be interesting, to see if he actually returned to Blizzard with all the changes going on over there. I'd be kind of curious as to y'all's thoughts on that. And at its core, since Riot officially hasn't truly announced or shown anything, the question ends up being is does this project come to light? And who knows? Who really right now knows? Anyway, I'd like to know your thoughts. Personally speaking, the amount of time that they've already sunk into it, they've hit their various different milestones as a part of his past progress reports. The question ends up being is that don't show it until you're ready. Don't show it until it's close. A personal thing of mine, a pet peeve, is that I would say go the Apex Legends route. As soon as you're ready for people to go hands-on with the game, then come out and officially announce it and showcase it. Because what you end up building out is you build out more opposition from commentators, and kind of almost in a way the games themselves become religious debates, beliefs of systems, beliefs of ideas, as opposed to going hands-on. And the best thing to way and kind of shut up, overly positive and overly negative is to say, hey, go play it today. We're looking for your feedback. We're planning on having a soft launch, yada, yada, yada. But that's just my personal dream of, the state of MMOs and how I wish they were marketed a little bit differently. But we'll probably cover more of that tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day, because we like talking about video games here. Anyway, I appreciate y'all's time today. Hopefully you got something good out of the video. Hopefully you sound off in the comments. I'm really curious as to what you think, especially as it relates to the Riot MMO. Especially, does this change? I guess a community question shout out for y'all is, does this fundamentally change the narrative of I'm just waiting for the Riot MMO? Does this make you more excited, less excited? Any and all opinions are absolutely welcome. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.